Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is Watson Michael from Ceylon Institute of English and Leadership. And once again, for the new year, I'm honored to have Steve Silbiger, one of the best business book authors in the world, back with us. His book, The Ten-Day MBA, has sold over 650,000 copies globally, and that has been translated into at least a dozen languages. Steve, welcome back. How are you
Oh,
doing?
hello. Hi. I'm glad to be with you tonight. Your morning.
It's an, it's an absolute honor, Steve. So it's a new year. So some people out there are looking for a career change, and some are looking to enhance skills. Where do you think skills-based education and skills-based hiring are going to be?
Well, it's going to be tough this year because you don't know which skills are going to be taken over by artificial intelligence. So, some of the skills that may be repetitive, uh, may be taken by AI for all we know. But if it's a physical skill like plumbing, electricity, not programming, physical labor, making things, those people still will have jobs for the foreseeable future. And in the United States, a lot of trade schools are very popular now. Very, very popular because going to college is really expensive. So one could make more being an electrician or a plumber or that type of thing here. And so that's very popular.
Well, when you said that, Steve, I just remembered. Okay, this was some time back. It was in Bloomberg, if I'm not mistaken. I read because I'm a big fan of Bloomberg. Okay, so I read these wind turbine technicians. They make a good amount of money, and something I read it some time back. Okay, because they have to repair and all. When you said like that about the trade, okay, great.
Hey, we were just talking about your car. To be able to fix cars, auto mechanic.
Okay.
Hey, that's a skill that will not be replaced.
Hmm.
And even if
Definitely.
there and if even if there are robots doing, somebody has to take care of the robots and fix the robots. So, those that's a skill to have, fixing robots.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Okay. It's going to be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now the higher education system seems to be changing. Where do you see the future of education?
Could you repeat that?
Sure. So the higher education system seems to be changing.
Yes.
So where do you see the future of education?
Okay. Well, it costs so much to go to college here
Mm,
in the United States. The future of education will become more and more practical so that you can pay back your student loan. So a lot of the humanities, that type of thing, uh, will will be in decline. Um, a lot of the research positions that were here in the United States that were supported by the federal government,
mm.
those have been cut back. About 200,000 employees of the federal government have been let go this year. So going into government, maybe diplomatic services, uh, that type of thing won't be open to people anymore. So people have to get more practical in the skills to make sure that when they do make that investment, that there's a job on the other end.
Absolutely. So now with the tariffs and higher costs, people and businesses are looking at cutting costs. And this is happening around the world. Your book has a vital chapter on accounting.
Hmm.
So, can you elaborate how this chapter will help us? Because some people they don't plan budgets nor keep records of cash and various other things.
Well, when you import something into the United States, there's the tariff is applied to your import. So the tariff is not paid by the other country like China or Mexico or Canada. It's paid by United States businesses. It's a line item. And so if you're importing from, say, England, it's 15%. If it's from China, it's 50% more. Uh,
Wow.
so you would have to definitely include those in your pro forma statements to make sure that you're still making a profit. And because the tariff changes, frequently, depending on how the president feels on any given day, it's tough to plan. So a lot of people, including the company I work for, we gave up
Mm.
all our projects that were imported from China and other countries. And so the only things that we're selling currently are things that are made here in the United States. That's a definite change. And some of the things that are imported from other countries are not things that are made in the United States. So overall, the tariffs don't make jobs in the United States. It makes no sense, and it's not good for the United States. But we'll find out. We'll find out, in the next 2 or 3 years, how this tariff thing works out. So,
Mm.
my opinion, it's not good.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, Steve, based on that, the accounting, okay. So, can you elaborate more about the consistency concept in accounting
Okay.
and why it's important?
Okay. Why consistency? Yeah, in the book, there's an accounting chapter,
Mm.
and there are certain rules, and those rules, and it's explained in the book, but
Mhm.
when you have rules, you have to apply them consistently so that, between time periods, you can compare them. And within an industry, there's a consistency of application of the rules so that you compare financial statements, income statements between competitors and industries. So there's special rules that way. So the whole idea is that you're able to be consistent and comparable to yourself and others in whatever industry that you're in. It's very important because if not, you could change the rules to benefit your, say, your profit of a given period and manipulate it next period to change the way that you account for things. And that's the reason why it has to be consistent
Mm.
in a nutshell.
Definitely. Yeah. So,
Like for instance, there's
how?
there's something going on now, which is actually a new topic. NVIDIA,
Mm-hmm.
which is the most valuable company in the world, NVIDIA makes
Mm-hmm.
computer
Mm-hmm.
chips. It is investing a lot of money in other computer companies and companies that use NVIDIA chips. So there's a circular function where you're giving money to companies so that they can buy your chips. How does that get reflected in NVIDIA's financial statements? Well, it needs to be fully disclosed so that people know what the risks are. So, like, you know, it's possible that through the investments in these other companies, they're able to
Mm-hmm.
afford to pay more for the chips that they're buying. It has to be disclosed. And there's parts in the accounting chapter where I cover some of the great frauds in accounting, uh,
Mm.
like Enron, that was in the early 2000s. And the whole
Uh-huh.
idea is that there are things in financial statements that aren't
Yeah.
expressed, that are secret or not on the balance sheet. And
Mm.
that's something to be looking out for. I have a whole section in the accounting on how fraud is
Yeah.
done in accounting and different ways that is done. And it's important to review that if you're a manager, especially a high level manager, so that doesn't occur in your company.
Yeah. I mean, that's very. True. Because I just remembered, Steve, when Warren Buffett retired, there was a clip on, I think, Yahoo Finance, if I'm not mistaken. And what is
Yeah.
the advice you can give for young people, young investors? And he was saying, learn accounting, he said, right?
Right.
Right, for young investors. So, and your book, I mean, Steve, I mean, when I go back, I still remember, okay, there is I think it's almost 10 years when I went to a departmental store and I was searching for some books. And I saw one copy of this book, 10-Day MBA. And I was just
Yes.
thinking, wow, let me give it a shot and see, right? So, and I took it and I read when I started this. Journey, entrepreneurship journey, I took this book and I finished it in 10 days. Okay. And wow, what a book, right? And here I am talking to the author. Okay. Right, Steve.
Well, one thing that I know when you read the book is that it doesn't go on for pages and pages about the same topic. Like what you just brought up, there's a section which is only a page and a half, and it's the 10 ways that accountants can misstate or lie on their financial statements. And it lists 10 ways to do it. And in some cases, famous companies that lied on their financial statements and how they did
Mm,
it. And that's only in a page and a half. So that's there, I don't know, page 119. But yeah, that's the way the whole book is written. It's not written for an expert. It's written for somebody who just
mm,
wants to understand the basics, but also get some of
mm,
that the I don't know, perspective that an MBA would have. Like an MBA may not be an expert in accounting, but he knows generally how accounting works. So he can hire accountants intelligently and read financial statements. So that's what the whole book is about. It's about,
mm,
usable knowledge, but quick, because students are impatient, just like you and I. We're impatient. We want to
mm,
get things done, and so that's the way the book works. You know, you could have a whole course on finance, which would take you a whole semester and hours, but in 10, 15 pages, it covers the basics of finance just the way that MBAs are taught at school. So you get a good
mm,
grasp of what's going on. And the same with accounting. When I wrote the accounting chapter, I just didn't write it and have it published. I ran it by people with no accounting experience at all,
wow,
and then asked them questions. Hey, did you understand this or not? A question goes, yeah, that was very interesting. And do you have any questions? And then I would revise the book to answer those questions for somebody who is not an accounting. uh, there was a group of engineers in New Jersey that they were assigned because they're engineers, not accountants, not
mm,
business people. For them to get promoted in their company, an engineering company, they had to read the book and they discussed it every week.
wow,
And one of the chapters that they found very useful was the accounting chapter because you're exposed as an engineer to accountants for projects. And so by knowing that, they know the questions to ask. There you go.
mm. Absolutely. So
Yeah.
the initial copy which I bought, you sent me a beautiful autograph copy. Okay.
Yeah.
So I removed the cover, but it's still there here. Okay. So
Yes.
I keep this with me. Okay. This is always with me. Okay. So
Yes.
the other one, my mom took it some time back, and when she read it, she was impressed with the knowledge and everything. So I keep it there. So whenever she gets the time, she takes the book and it's with her. So right. So, but
Yes.
this is a fantastic book, Steve. I mean, what you cover, the things, it's so easy to read, right? So
has
sometimes,
has cartoons in it where you need some
mm,
where you need some levity. It's not all cut and dry textbook, and there's
true.
examples that go with the learning. It's practical. It's basically just the way they taught us these subjects in school, that's how this goes. Uh,
Mm,
I don't have any opinion about some theories. I'm not
mm,
promoting my own theory about things. This is just
mm,
what they
mm,
actually teach you in business school. So that's why it's been so
mm.
popular for all these years. There's no advertising. People just talk about it and then, you know, talk about it and refer it. That's how it's been sold for the last decade. And that's why it sold 600,000 copies.
600,
Thank
yeah,
God.
650,000 plus, and still
Yeah,
continuing. Okay, yeah,
still selling.
absolutely. See, I mean,
Yes.
the first chapter
Actually,
itself, it outlines.
yeah, it was like last month a contract I signed so that there's a Chinese translation of the book, and so it will be
Hmm.
published again in the fifth edition in China.
Wow.
Uh, my good buddy Tiger, he translates the book, and hopefully within the year the next Chinese edition will occur, and it is done extremely well there in China, mainland China.
Wow.
Hmm.
Congratulations on that,
Yeah,
Steve.
well, thank you.
Great. Great. So now, bit of an interesting question. How important is it to enhance one's business English skills in today's world?
Well, you know, American cultural imperialism is pretty strong. The United Nations is in New York. The financial
Mhm.
markets are based in the United States. Uh, Computing, uh, programming, all that is in English. The basic programs of finance and what have you are in English. So it would be pretty important to be able to know English uh, in many of the areas, even in other technologies. You know, the language is French, is English. It used to be the language of diplomacy was French. No longer. Uh, English should be very key to anybody's success. That's for sure. And on the other hand, a person who knows English should know another language as well so that they can improve their own skills.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, final message from you to those who seek motivation and avoid rejection.
Well, just like I always say, this book started with an idea. The idea was written, I wrote this at night over a year and a half with no hope of being published. Uh, that a friend of mine who was a published author said that maybe 5% of books ever get published. And I think that's generous. Of that 5%, you know, a half a percent sell a significant amount of books. And so he was discouraging me to go ahead with the book. And I said, I'm going to call you back in a year and I am going to write the book and it's going to sell. And sure enough, it has. Because if it's something phenomenal, people will gravitate toward it, and a positivity to it is great. And of course, taking advantage of opportunities. I found my agent through a referral, but once I had the referral, I had a good book to sell. So it's not luck. It's luck to have some opportunities, but you have to be prepared when the opportunity knocks on the door. So in this case, I've been extremely lucky, but I put a lot of hard work into making this happen. That's for sure. So they both go hand in hand. I'm currently writing a children's book, but it hasn't found a market yet. It hasn't been published, but I still work on the craft because I think it's important. But with this one or my Jewish phenomenon, the other book that I wrote, they have large lives, and people like the book and refer people to the book. And that's how this book has a life to it. And that's why it's come out in the 5th edition, because there's a market and people find value in it. And I can guarantee if any of your, if any of your people in your academy are wondering, hey, pick it up. You can, if you're buying it from Amazon, you can always return it if it doesn't work out for you. So good for you. Well, thank you.
Well, Steve, this is a great book indeed. Like I always say, right? Who I meet, whether it's a non-business professional or it's a business professional, I always recommend this book because this gives some sort of skills and it enhances one's knowledge, and there is always room for improvement. And see, I mean, somebody who doesn't know about a business environment, this is the ideal book. You can be a doctor, you can be an engineer. Okay, you're a doctor who wants to start a private practice, or anyone. I mean, this book can help you. So sometimes a business professional can try to cheat a non-business professional who does not have business knowledge, and this is the ideal book. Okay, can lay the foundations and help somebody. Okay, so anyway, I'm
I
really
totally
happy.
agree.
And I'm really happy that I got this book. And there was only one copy, Steve. There's just one copy. And I grabbed that copy. And I'm really happy that the day I bought this, okay? That was years back, but maybe 7 8 years back, approximately. But anyway, great. So, Steve, yeah.
Hopefully in 2026, our new year, you're going to come to the United States and you can stay at my house in New York, and I'll show you the United States from Philadelphia and New York. So hopefully this will be your year.
I hope I could visit this year. So I'm not too sure, but let's see, Steve. But I really appreciate your invitation.
Yes,
I really appreciate it.
genuine.
And Steve, so thank you very much for taking time and doing this podcast with us.
Very good. Take care.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.